Every 4 years, the same thing happens. Entire countries stop, schools pause lessons, people stay awake all night. Cities fill with noise. Billions of people watch 22 strangers chase a ball. And for a few weeks, nothing else seems to matter. The World Cup is often shown as celebration, flags, music, unity. But behind the biggest sporting event on earth, there's another side people don't talk about. Moments where emotion became obsession, where crowds became dangerous, and where football stopped being just football. This isn't about goals. This is about what happens to people. Most people don't say, "My team won." They say, "We won." Think about that. You weren't on the pitch. You didn't train. You didn't touch the ball. But emotionally, it feels personal. That's because humans naturally form groups. Family, country, religion, teams. And once we feel connected, success feels shared. Loss feels personal. That's why a missed penalty can ruin someone's entire day. Why strangers hug, why strangers argue. The World Cup doesn't create this behaviour. It reveals it. Millions of people become part of something bigger than themselves. And most of the time, that feeling is harmless, but not always. Crowds change behaviour. People who would never shout alone shout in groups. People who would never act emotionally become emotional. Psychologists sometimes describe something called de-individuation. The feeling that your individual identity becomes weaker inside a crowd. Responsibility feels spread out. Emotion spreads faster. And during major sports events, that effect becomes powerful. You see people cry, celebrate, lose control, because emotion is contagious. One person starts, then 10, then thousands. Football creates moments of incredible connection, but history shows that crowds can also become unpredictable. And sometimes the line between celebration and chaos becomes very thin. Over the years, the World Cup has produced unforgettable moments, but some become unforgettable for darker reasons. Matches that carried political pressure, tournaments that became symbols, moments where entire countries attached emotion and meaning far beyond sport. And when expectations become huge, the pressure becomes huge too. Because the World Cup isn't experienced like normal entertainment, it becomes memory, identity, national pride. People remember where they were, who they watched with, how they felt, and suddenly a football match starts feeling bigger than football. That's when emotion becomes difficult to control. Maybe the strangest thing about the World Cup is that it might be one of the biggest human behaviour experiments in the world. Billions of people watching the same thing, reacting together, feeling together, winning together, losing together, and every tournament reminds us of something uncomfortable. Humans haven't changed as much as we think. We still build tribes, we still choose sides, we still search for belonging. The stadium just makes it easier to see. When the tournament ends, people go back to work, the flags disappear, the stadium lights switch off. Life becomes normal again, but for a few weeks, people become louder, more emotional, more connected, more tribal. And maybe that's the real reason the World Cup becomes so powerful. Not because of football, but because for a short time it shows us exactly who we are. This is Dark Behaviour Lab. Thank you for watching and listening. Please subscribe.